Hello, class. Welcome to Statistics. My name is Professor Brown, and I will be facilitating the class over the next 4 weeks. In addition to welcoming you, I wanted to share a few things with you guys: my biography, a little bit about the class, my teaching philosophy, office hours, and last but not least, current contact information. So, a little bit about me. I'm married. I've been married for the last 23 years. Two kids, Sydney and Bryce. My oldest, Sydney, is 18. She's on her way to college, so we're looking forward to that. Originally, I'm from New Orleans, now residing in Dallas, Texas. I enjoy sports and competition, particularly golf and basketball. From an educational standpoint, I have a master's from the University of New Orleans in applied statistics, also have a bachelor's in mathematics from Xavier University. From a career perspective, um, not only do I teach with Kaiser, but I'm a director of media application with PepsiCo. Over the last 23 years, I've held many positions from manager, consultant, to even statistician across multiple companies and industries. Familiar with many statistical techniques, and more importantly, well versed in their application across many disciplines. A little bit about the class, right? Over the next 4 weeks, we will leverage several different tools to learn statistics, right? There's going to be homework assignments, there's quizzes, there's also a discussion area where you guys can earn bonus points. And then last but not least, we're going to be taking exams, right? This course covers such topics as data collection, regression and correlation, there's estimation, and last but not least, hypothesis testing. Teaching philosophy. So, couple things here, right? So, first, student first, okay? What that means is I want to understand your needs. I want to understand where you are. I want to understand your history, your background. I want to understand your past with mathematics or statistics. That's going to help me cater my message uniquely to you, right? As best I can, I'm committed to that, and I want to give you guys the best possible experience. Secondly, many students ask the question, why is mathematics important, right? And they say things like, oh, I'm never going to use this again. Like, why would I waste my time doing this problem? I'm never going to use it again. Well, some of that is true. You're never going to have to solve that problem ever again. I promise. But the reason that we have mathematics is not about solving problem number 35 on page, 18. It's about the process of solving problems, right? And the reason mathematics or statistics or any problem solving class is important for that matter is we're actually solving problems that we already know the answer to, right? The fact that we already know the answer to that problem, we can use that problem and the process of solving that problem to build our problem solving muscle, right? We want to get stronger in that area. I'm convinced there are actually three things that we need, and why we benefit from solving known problems. Number one, we can ensure, we should ensure that we understand the problem to solve, right? An example of that is, what if I were to ask you in Russian, what is your name? Okay. You know your name, so it's not a difficult problem to solve, right? It's actually a very simple problem to solve. But if you don't know Russian, then you can't solve the problem, right? So part of solving the problem is understanding the problem, understanding what's being asked of you, understanding the language, the terminology, just making sure that you understand what is being asked. The second thing that's needed in order to solve a problem is it requires you to bring knowledge of the problem to the problem, right? So no matter what the problem is, if you don't know anything about that problem or that situation or those circumstances, it's going to be extremely difficult for you to solve that problem because you're not knowledgeable in that area. So, in order to solve a problem, not only do we have to understand what's being asked, but secondly, we have to bring knowledge to the problem, right? And then, last but not least, right, we have to apply that knowledge in a way to derive the answer, right? So, when we're working off of problems that we know the answer to, and we do those three things. We understand what's being asked, we're bringing the right knowledge, and we're able to apply that knowledge to get to the answer. We're able to build confidence and build that muscle within us of solving problems. Okay. Now, when we're successful at that, right, when the answer is known, when we're successful at that, it makes us successful when we're trying to solve problems that we don't know the answer to. I like to call them real world problems, right? Relationship problems, problems with our kids, problems at the office, right? Whatever it is, when the answer isn't known, the question is, what process are you going to lean on in order to get to that answer? And that's why mathematics and statistics, frankly, is so important because it's all about the process. The more comfortable we are with the process, the more successful we will be at solving problems within math class, but more importantly, outside of math class. Okay. One last thing that I'll say on that, right, is in math class, when we don't get the problem right, we simply lose points. -5, -7, -10. Okay. In the real world, when we don't get it right? If we're with our spouse or our kid or something happens at work, right? When we don't get it right, when we don't solve it correctly, there are consequences to pay, right? So what we want to do is we want to play in the class environment so that when we get into the real world, we can be successful. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. Office hours, right? I want you guys to actually check the Meet Your Instructor page within the class for office hours. Typically, I hold office hours later in the week. Why is that? Because during that session, I want to give you guys enough time to conduct a chapter reading so that you can bring the right knowledge to that session. It doesn't do anyone any good, especially you, if you're not bringing anything, any knowledge to that session regarding the concepts, the terminology, right? You should not be attending that session and having that be your first interaction with the material for the week. Right? So there's prep that has to happen. Conduct the chapter reading. Maybe work a few problems within the textbook, right? Really go through it on your own so that by the time we get to that session, you're actually ready to have a productive conversation. Right? That allows us to maximize and optimize that hour. And that's what we're aiming for. Last but not least, current contact information. So have no problem sharing my cell phone, 214-536-5366, and also my Kaiser email. It's kobrown@kaiseruniversity.edu. Both of those can be found within the Meet Your Instructor homepage, right? Now, one thing I do want to add to that is the class is intended to be a wholly contained unit, which means everything that we need in the class is in the class. Many students reach out personally, either through text or phone or email, about problems with the material. I'm going to ask that you guys submit those questions through the class. Save the text or the email for truly personal things, right? Things that are about you, right? And so with that, we're all good. Hey guys, so again, welcome to the next 4 weeks of statistics. I'm going to do my best to make the next 4 weeks as fun, but hopefully educational as well. We're on this journey together and we're going to have fun with it. Again, my name is Professor Brown, and welcome to Statistics 2023. See you all in class. Bye bye.